All right, everybody, welcome back into another episode of the markleskopodcast. Joined by Aaron Zimmerman once again to talk. I'm going to get his thoughts on the DC hire at Penn State. And thank you, Lord, baby Jesus. We end the year with an Ohio State loss. I've never done this before, Aaron, but I'm going to bed tonight with my arms up like this. Great night in America. Great way to end 2025 with an Ohio State loss. Penn State ends the season with more hardware than Ohio State. They played two good teams like Notre Dame and lost both. So Ohio State is basically Notre Dame.
I mean, it kind of ended up that way this year, huh?
I think if Notre Dame played Ohio State, they might beat Ohio State. So
maybe. I mean, if Ohio State plays like that, you know.
Yeah, bro. I said it all year, man. They're not that good. They're not. And literally the only two decent teams they played, they lost. So yeah. I still think Indiana wins it all. But Aaron, once again, welcome in, man. How's things going for you?
It's going. Just been busy. A lot of work.
Working? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so last year we rung in the new year after Penn State beat up Boise State.
Yep.
This year probably ring it in again on the pod. So pretty much been doing it every year, ringing the new year on the pod. Christmas we do an episode. So, but Aaron, how long have you been listening to the show?
Probably close to a year, like 8 months.
Okay. So, well, Aaron, I found out because you were always Faf in the comments and I didn't know your name was Aaron. But yeah, I called into Landon Tengwall's show and then you called in right after me. You said, "Hey, that was Marky as a podcast."
Yeah.
And then you came on like that night and said, "Hey, that was me," because I didn't know. And then I put out the thing one night, said, "If anyone wants to come on, you can come on." And then Aaron came on and super chill guy. So it's good to have you. It's good to have you on again and again, man. So
appreciate it.
Absolutely. But this year, the podcast has grown a lot. We started the year at like 500 subs. Now we're almost at 13.
Yeah.
So this year has been a lot of growth. And, from pretty much from the Oregon game when we lost to Matt Campbell was hired, Brett and I were full throttle. Didn't get a lot of sleep for months. And we just covered the team. And that really helped us grow. So really happy and excited to be where we're at now. But Aaron, what do you think about Danton Lynn? You're an old school fan. You know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He played when I was in school. When I tried out at Penn State, he was on the team. Yeah. Solid player, solid guy, great football mind. So
yeah, especially like the combo of him with Terry. Because I'm sure those guys have a long history together. And, what I've seen from Lynn so far, he was improving USC's defense year over year. It's hard to gauge because he didn't have it for all that long, just a couple of years. But initially there was a pretty big improvement. And then this year less of one, but he was in a surprisingly good spot, actually. And I wasn't sure if he'd take the Penn State job because of it.
Yeah.
Because USC is going to have their second top 5 class from the looks of it in a row. And that gives you a lot of ammo to work with on defense. Those guys were all freshmen this year from that first top 5 class. So you're not going to get an immediate impact from those guys typically. But I was a little surprised that he walked away from it, which tells me how much he wanted to be Penn State's guy, which doesn't surprise me because just knowing who he was and who he's been. But I understood that, he's walking away from a pretty good situation. So really great to have him. I'm excited to see what he can do and what he brings to the table defensively. He got USC to start playing Big Ten football, in my opinion. So that's a good start.
Yeah, you make a good point. He did have a good situation there, so it tells me a couple things. One, he wanted to come to Penn State for sure, and he wanted to coach for a different guy. That's another thing I think that was a factor. I mean, you don't have a lot of opportunities to come to Penn State and coach. You don't. We don't hire and fire coaches. Franklin was here for 12 years. Now, DC, OC, that's a little different. We do fluctuate on them sometimes, but Franklin, I think, wanted him. Brett said last night that he probably didn't want to coach for Franklin.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever going to go to that job.
Probably not. Letterman talk, obviously, and he was not a big Letterman guy. So that's a factor as well. But when you have Terry Smith, who 100% played a factor, I'm sure, and then you have Matt Campbell, a real coach, with another real coach, of course. And I agree with you. I didn't think he would come here. I thought we were going to end up getting someone else. But word is that Deontay Pennell, you remember him, Aaron?
Yep.
So word is that he's going to be a D-line coach under Danton Lynn. And I'm sure he has some power as to who he's going to hire on his defensive side of the ball. So Deontay Pennell, former guard / tackle for Penn State, played when I was in school, was a teammate of Danton Lynn. I guess he's coming in. An O-line guy coaching D-line, which you can do that either way. I mean, Larry Johnson could coach O-line because he knows what he's trying to do on the defensive side. Therefore, you could coach offense or defensive line, really. So that'll be cool to have Deontay Pennell back. He was a good player for us. So, yeah, I mean, to me, it's not even like some people say splash hire, this and that. Man, it's just a good hire. It's not a splash hire, if you will. What have you. Franklin did that a lot. Got the splash hire, didn't work out all the time.
Yeah. Those don't work out a lot of the time. No, actually.
Like Deontay Pennell, you guys that aren't like diehard fans, you're not even going to remember him. And he could be coaching our D line.
So I don't even know how many snaps he actually got.
I do remember when they played Alabama in 2011, when Johnny Troutman got hurt. He got rolled. He got rolled up on. Yeah. Him and Quinn Barham were both, I think, getting beat up because they had used 3 timeouts in that first drive. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
So I think it was Johnny Troutman got rolled up on, or Quinn Barham. Yeah, it was Johnny Troutman.
It was Troutman, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was on the sideline, and then they were rotating in Deontay Pennell. And they did not plan that, to go into that drive, they threw it to the little guy. Gosh darn it. Devon Smith, right? Devon Smith?
I think it was Davon Smith, yeah.
Davon Smith. They threw it to him down the sideline. He dropped it. It was a perfect throw.
Yeah.
And then they went down and only got a field goal out of Anthony Farah to start the game. They used all 3 timeouts. They went for it on 4th down. Rob Bolden rolled out to the left and got the first down, reaching the ball over the first down marker. And then they scored 8 points in the 4th quarter. So it was 27-11 was the final score, I think.
It was 27-11 or 12. It was 11, I think you're right.
And that was my first game. That was my first student whiteout. So that was the first game I'd been to as a student at a whiteout. I'd gone to the Indiana State game when Chaz Powell took the opening kickback.
Yeah.
He ran it right towards me. I was right in the middle of the end zone. He ran it right towards me. And then Alabama, the thing about that game, not to get off too far off subject, but Saban did not run up the score, and he could have easily run up the score.
Yeah.
I mean, holy crap, dude. Like, that
was
just
a big disadvantage in that game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the thing is, if we had a quarterback that year, because we were rotating quarterbacks in that game. So if we had a solidified, decent starting quarterback, as good as that defense was, we had pretty much everything we needed. Trent Richardson was the running back. Him and Eddie Lacy, man, like, oh my goodness. Trent Richardson was playing against 3rd graders out there. Like, he was so good.
I do remember. Yeah, Richardson looked like a man among boys most games. He was kind of like Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry.
He was. Yeah. And, you know, in that game, like, they could have run up the score. They did not. So that was one of Saban's early games in his career, and they went on to win the national title. But if we had a decent quarterback that year, we had a good defense. We had Silas Red. We had a bunch of receivers, a good O-line. That was a senior-laden team. And going into the Nebraska game, after Joe was fired, they only had one loss. That was to Alabama. So they were looking at least a Big Ten, maybe a Big Ten championship run, maybe a Rose Bowl, and then that happened, and then that really threw the wheels off the wagon. Yeah. So, but you know, that was just a game where I remember one play from that game. Let me look up the players, because they had – all right, so they had – let me see here real quick. Was Mark Barron number 4 at Alabama? Yes. All right, so I remember I was in the student section. If you remember this play. He was – and by the way, Devin Still – holy crap, dude. That guy got through the line twice and just rocked Trent Richardson. First offensive play they had, he went through and rocked him. And then that was a 3-and-out because McCarron threw it down the middle and overthrew Marquise Mays. And Nick Suke, I think, got a hand on it too. But they lost that game, man, because freaking Nick Suke, my least favorite safety of all time at Penn State. Oh my goodness. He was so frustrating to watch. It was like 3rd and, I don't know, 11 or something. McCarron throws the ball down the middle to Marquise Mays. Suke goes for the interception, misses it. Yeah. Marquise Mays catches it somehow and then rolls. And then they go down and score, and that was it.
Yeah.
But what was I getting at there? What was my initial point? I don't remember. But yeah, they lost to Alabama that year, but you know, that was an interesting game. Just the play, every play that they had. But okay, this is what I was going to say. But I was in the student section, so students, you know, the stadium's like this, the student section's down here. I was to the left. So the tunnel's here. I was to the left. And I'm looking across the field, and Rob Bolden, I remember watching on TV too later on. He rolls out to the left. He throws a pop pass, tries to throw it to Derek Moy.
Yeah.
Mark Barron was literally probably 10 feet off the ground. His toe was extended. The bottom of his toe was 10 feet off the ground. He went up. Rob Bolden threw it. He just popped up and got the interception, fell down. And I'm like, this is the greatest team in the country right now. No Penn State player. I never saw a Penn State player ever do that. It was insane. I was like, this is a different football team. These guys are just, they're not even in the realm of us. Like, they're a totally different team. It was just an insanely athletic play. And I knew then, like, bro, we're not winning a national title this year. Like, there's no way. It was just insane. But ACC going to run college football in 2026.
Yeah, okay.
Thomas, welcome in. Virginia Tech fanatics, welcome in. Yeah, it won't be Virginia Tech, but Ohio State losing to Miami team. Just wait to see the portal rankings for ACC. No one cares, bro. No one cares.
I think that's not how transitive property works, my friend.
Yep. I think Deontay Pennell. Carson Beck deserves a shout out. Has been shaky for the last 2 seasons. Did not turn the ball over and played smart today. Yep.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah.
Wearing that, he's a Buckeye. Yeah, we know.
Not we know.
That's why he's wearing it. So Miami took the belt to your asses, Ohio State fans. So the belt is now being taken to your ass, and you're done. And we ended the season with more hardware than you. Don't laugh at us. We are the Ohio State. That's why we laugh at you. We own James Franklin at PSU. He's not at PSU anymore.
You can go ahead and
the Block O is the most powerful logo in all of sports. Yeah, the sports in like Ohio, maybe.
And yeah, in the state of Ohio.
Yeah,
Because you got the
you guys
Browns
are
on
absolute
the
clowns. I said it all year. You guys aren't that good, and you were exposed. You're Notre Dame. You lost to the only two teams you played all year. You talked all this crap all off season, all season. You guys are clowns. 2026 national champs. That is fiction, and you need to get your tattoo removed. Julian Sane has looked pedestrian the last two games. He looked pedestrian all year.
He does hold the ball, and I think some of that is
He's Lord Farquaad.
Yeah, Lord Farquaad. He does hold the ball a lot, and I think some of that is he wasn't under a ton of pressure from teams most of the year, right? And so I think he got into playing a certain way, and it worked against him in a big way tonight. Partially because of that, and partially because they were just getting the early part of that game. They were getting absolutely manhandled on the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, for most of the first half. It only started to turn around a little bit at the very end of the first half. But then, you saw what happened. It was like, yeah, the second half, it was kind of going Ohio State's way. But you get down 14, sometimes you can't come back. So you got to play right from the beginning.
Yeah, they just – when they played the two good teams they played this year, they lost the battle every time. They lost the battle. I mean, I respect Ohio State, the program, have a ton of respect for them. I hate them. And
I hate how good they are. I'll admit it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yes, we never beat them, but Ohio State fans, you guys, enjoy your time in paradise because that's not happening. We're not losing to you guys every year anymore. It's not happening. It's not. We have a real coach now. So nothing under Franklin counted. Losing Joey O'Brien to Notre Dame, losing to you guys every year, losing to Michigan State doesn't really count. Well, it counts, but it doesn't count in the sense that when you have an incompetent coach, like that's going to happen.
Yeah, you have the coach that gets out coached by every other coach. It's pretty tough to win against a quality team, and that's what was happening for so long.
Yeah,
but we're rid of him now. So
yeah, but he's at sexy Virginia Tech now, so he's happy.
Yeah,
possibly happy there. Day is a likely candidate. Also, I do not believe Sane is the answer. Tonight proves that lacking the mobility and awareness to a truly extent. Yeah, Brian Day maybe could go to the Steelers. I don't know. I'm so mad my year is ruined. Can you put respect in our name? Dude, stop. Sane is not the answer. He's not he's not the Heisman. You're Irish prestige. And you're done with Ryan Day. Dude, you guys are absolute clowns. Seriously. You guys, your fan base, most of it sucks. You're saying you're done with Ryan Day. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me?
I mean, be my guest. If you guys fire him, I'd be very happy.
You guys are absolute clowns. If Cristobal can beat Ohio State, Penn State can beat them too. Absolutely. But I'm going to try to answer your comments, guys. Again, if you're members, you'll pop up. I'll try to pull you guys up first if we gets too busy. But please like, share, subscribe. Helps get to 2,000 subs. And you can support us monetarily, super chats, thanks button, memberships, whatever you want. But thank you guys for tuning in. So, Aaron, I guess Danton Lynn runs a 4.25.
He does.
And, I want to mix between like a scrap type of defense, very conservative. He was very conservative. A mix between that and like a Manny Diaz, because Scrap was not aggressive in turnovers trying to get the ball. He played a very conservative 4-3. Danton Lynn, he keeps it simple. He does a lot with it, and it's been successful. So it's simple but successful. That's what he does. So what do you think about what he's going to do with us? Do you think he's going to have success?
I think it's going to be personnel-oriented, his approach. I mean, with a 4-2-5, you really do need to be personnel-oriented. So I often say, like, you want to see an excellent example of a defensive coordinator and how he uses the players he's got to decide how he plays. Look at Vic Fangio. Everywhere he goes, his scheme changes a little bit, but it's all just based on who he has, right? So if you've got a secondary that's fast and really tough and big, good at tackling, right? Like the Eagles secondary, you can play quarters all day long because it doesn't matter if the quarterback, like if the running back gets outside of the front line, he's going to get tackled by the first guy who hits him. So it's fine. You can take those risky plays and you can just bring four guys. But In a 4-2-5, if you have really trouble like with your edges, you don't get good pen, you're gonna have a tough time staying in a 4-2-5 and playing nickel. Like you just can't, because unless you have incredibly good tacklers in your backfield, right, or you have really good linebackers that they just block that whole middle of the field is just toast because they're there. But it's going to depend on a lot of that stuff. So if you have, like, let's say Biles from Pittsburgh comes to Penn State, and you still have Tony Rojas, and those are your two middle linebackers that are working that middle of the field, hey, then maybe you can rush 4 and get away with it, and you don't have to be super aggressive because you can just win. And then there's other times where it's like, well, if your secondary is a bit porous, you may need that nickel corner to be more coverage than tackling type. So it just depends on the personnel you have. But I think Lynn demonstrated a pretty good use of personnel at USC, because when he first got there, they were not in a great way on defense. That was Lincoln Riley's biggest problem. Lincoln Riley wants to throw all his resources at offense, and he lets the defense just live with it. And when he first walked in there, he probably wasn't walking into the best spot for a defensive coordinator. Riley finally came around. I don't know how much of that, some of that might have been Lynn, talking him into, hey, we need to take defense seriously or you're never going to win in the Big Ten. But whatever happened, they started to take it more seriously, and Lynn did a really good job. He ran a 4-2-5, but I don't know if he'll stay 4-2-5. I think it's just going to be personnel dependent. But I think he'll probably come in 4-2-5, just given our roster right now. He'll probably come in with a 4-2-5, unless something crazy happens in the portal. Like we get Biles and we get like some other big players that change the way that we can play defense. But I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in with a 4-2-5 and we kind of use like a fast safety blitz type situation. But it'll be interesting to see what he does. I'm very excited for it. He's a good defensive coordinator. So
yeah, he's got a good resume, and he's a football mind. His dad is a coach. He's the running backs coach at the Redskins right now. So, he's got an impressive resume, and that's really, to me, what it comes down to. He's proven. He was a player, and now he's a coach, and he's a proven commodity to me, in the sense that he, he's earned his stripes. He's earned this spot on the Penn State coaching staff, like a Terry Smith. And, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And I don't think that's going to happen. But it's like, what do you have to lose by hiring Danton Lynn? I mean, he's clearly qualified for the job. So, a Terry Smith. Go ahead.
Well, and I guess if anybody was questioning the Danton Lynn hire, my question to you would be, well, who else? Who's better? Right? Like, you've got a Penn State guy, Penn State fit, coming into a group of Penn State guys. It's about as good a fit as you can ask for. So he's got success. He's had success, and he's a good fit. So who else would it? Haycock would be cool if he hadn't retired. But is he better than Lynn? I don't know that he would have been better than Lynn. He's certainly a more experienced, no question. But we don't always hire coaches on experience. If that was true, Kurt Signetti wouldn't be a coach right now, and Indiana would be a much sadder place than it is. So
Signetti really threw a wrench in a lot of things. The Big Ten,
he's
college
causing
football,
an awful lot of problems for people.
He is, man. Like, what he's doing right now is unbelievable. First of all, he came from a small school that people don't hire coaches from small schools. He turned this team into a totally different team. It hurts the Big Ten in recruiting, but it hurts other teams in the Big Ten in recruiting.
Sure.
That's another team that no one ever had to worry about. Now they do. It hurts recruiting for everyone else in college football. It hurts the preparation for the big, teams that play the Big Ten. So they beat Ohio State. And I don't care who you are. If you beat Ohio State and you win that battle, you deserve a lot of respect. So they've beaten Ohio State. They play Alabama tomorrow. And I think if they beat Alabama and they play Georgia, if they beat Alabama, they'll play Oregon or Texas
Tech or Oregon. Yep.
And I think they can beat them. And then I ultimately have them playing Georgia to win it all. So Ohio State losing that's a good team that's knocked out now. They're done.
Yeah. Well, and it's good for Indiana because you really don't want to face the same team twice in short succession, just because they just saw all your plays. They saw your playbook. They know what you want to do, and they can kind of scheme it. Now, granted, that goes both ways, but there's something to, like, when you have the athletic disadvantage to a team, you really don't want to see them twice in short succession. See what happened to Oklahoma? They had an athletic disadvantage to Alabama. Saw them twice in short succession. They lost the second time, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, it's probably good for Indiana that Ohio State's not going to get a second shot at them. I will say, if you can beat Oregon in their house and beat Ohio State in a critical game, there's nothing like, despite their disadvantage in terms of blue chip talent, there's nobody they can't beat. Like, plain and simple, there's definitely nobody they can't beat. So Kurt Cignetti, I mean, honestly, if you were to ask me who's the closest match in coaching to Joe Paterno, it's Kurt Cignetti.
Yeah,
because he just does more with less.
Joe Paterno never boasted. He just did his job. That's what Kurt Cignetti does. I mean, he said, Google me, I win. He meant it. So, right. He was not wrong. But yeah, having Hartline on the side, that was weird. He was there, but he wasn't calling plays, I guess.
Yeah, that was strange that they even had, why was he there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that a Ryan Day decision? I'm confused.
I guess, and he was calling the plays. Ryan Day was calling the plays. They said that on the.
I don't know. I guess Day thought that I think Josh Payton actually said it, that no matter how much you're focused on the game, once you have a job somewhere else, you can't be 100% on it. That's true. But I'm also wondering if Brian Hartline at not 100% is still better. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
And maybe it was, right?
Do believe Lynn will run, linebacking core, secondary. Penn State will eat on the defense. Excuse me. Hi, guys. Happy New Year's. New year, new hope for me and my cancer. Yeah, what's up, Chris?
God bless
but
you,
after
Chris.
Yesterday's appointment, things are getting worse. So Chris, fellow veteran, Aaron, and he said that he has terminal lung cancer, and while he's getting treatments, he listens to us. So thank you, Chris.
Yeah, God bless you, Chris.
Yeah, anything we can do, man, let us know. So, but thank you for listening. It's really good to have you on, man. Lynn is a great fit. Second that, Aaron. Yes, he is. Happy New Year, Joe. This Texas Tech Oregon game, dude. These games tomorrow, wow.
There's some good ones, man. I'm excited for them. I thought this would be the stinker of them.
Yeah, I did too. Chris, I hope you'll be okay. Ryan Day was born on third base, but acts like he hit a triple. There's not enough for Ozempic or just for men to change his beta bitch man status. Just Lord Farquaading. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, sir? Yeah. So Just for Men is definitely his favorite product of all time.
He has great hair. I'll give him that.
Praying for Chris.
So Lord Farquaad.
Thomas, thank you for gifting 10 memberships, man. So you guys can get some. Long legs, you're an absolute moron. Talking about Sandusky, you are blocked. But thank you, Thomas, for gifting 10 memberships. Appreciate it, man. Keep fighting, Chris. Yeah, you came on at a good time, Chris. You're going to get a lot of support. Welcome to the Dulac. Yeah, I've never seen long legs before, but I don't understand coming on here making jokes. It's like, dude, you're going to get blocked. What do you think we're going to do? Entertain you? But the fact that it's a Letterman, Aaron, it's just, dude, I don't know, man. It's not, to me, it's not, it's not like this big splash hire. If they got Elijah Robinson to be the D-line coach, I'd be like, wow, that's crazy. But if it's Deontay Pinnell, we just got a solid coach, man.
Mm-hmm.
But For me, it's like a wait and see. How's he going to do? It's a
Sure.
solid hire. He's a letterman, but it's a wait and see for me, for everybody. I mean, the intangibles are there for Matt Campbell. The intangibles are there for
Sure.
this whole staff. Terry Smith's the only guy that we really know what we're getting.
Yes.
And once he got a tighter and tighter grip on the team, you saw the results. They won a bowl game
They were much better off.
against preseason 4-3, played in the pinstripe, and we beat them. No matter who they had out, regardless, our defense was written up very well. I hope Poindexter stays. But, you know, it's a wait and see kind of thing for me, but he has earned this job. He is going to be a very good coach. And we'll see if his defense and his schemes and his processes can win us help us win a national title. We'll see. And I do think that will happen. Like, I think he's going to be a very solid coach, but we'll see. We'll see.
So. Yeah, and it's one of those things that I'm gonna keep chopping. Good point. He was with Lynn at UCLA. I'm glad you mentioned that. And that probably had a lot to do with the decision to bring him on. But I know when it comes to coaching, and there's a lot of things that go into fit. So you can have a coach who doesn't do all that well at a place, and then you put him somewhere else and suddenly he's a superstar.
Yeah, right.
And so it's really hard because there's so many things behind the scenes you don't know. You can only look at fit. Like, as an outsider, we can only look at fit based on things like the alma mater. Is he liked? Does everybody on the staff work together well? We can kind of see some of that, but we don't get the whole details, obviously, because we're not in the room. But if you have a really good staff, which they have the skill set in that staff. They have those skills, and they've demonstrated those skills. Then if the fit is good, you can get a superstar performance. But staff is very important, and for some coaches, it's more important than others. Some coaches, they can kind of raise the program themselves, but that kind of coach does not happen a lot. Like, that's a Nick Saban, that's a Signetti. Like those kind of guys who just raise the bar, like all solo, they're so rare. Whereas you're going to get most coaches, like even Dabo he's not one of those guys who raises the bar alone. He needs good staff. So I think that's actually been his problem. I think that's part of the reason Clemson's been struggling, is I don't think he has the staff he used to have. And he doesn't have the consensus in that room that he used to have. And I think it's starting to really hurt him. But the Penn State staff, on paper, it looks like a very good fit, and it looks like it should be a copacetic staff room, which is great. Everybody's on the same page, et cetera. So if that works out that way, I think it'll be a pretty quick turnaround. We're in the portal era. It's much easier to turn a team around fast now than it used to be. But we did have, you did have that off year with our recruiting, which it is what it is. So as we go forward from here, there's a time frame you have to give people. And I was kind of pointing this out to some other people. It was like, there's this tendency now, because you have the Signettis and the Joey McGuires and those guys, you have people who are thinking that it's normal to turn a team around in 2 years. I'm like, we haven't gotten that far here, guys. Like, it's not normal to have a team playing for the national title in 2 years. Okay. What Signetti did is a one-off. You're not going to see that happen very often. And even with Joey McGuire, he needed a few years to get it going. And both of those teams were, by the way, both of those schools were secret underdogs, because both of them had more resources than they appeared to have. So they were good situations for that type of takeoff, right? Penn State, you're not going to surprise anybody because we have the resources, and everybody knows you have the resources. So in our case, it might take a couple of years. It may not, but I don't want people to get the idea that like it's normal to make the playoff in 2 years after having a really bad year. Like, that's not how life works. It's not how the sport works. So most teams, you need 3 years before you start really seeing where you can kind of start to say, all right, this coach, I want to start seeing his football, and we're going to see his game, his team. That third year, you're starting to look for that. And then year 4 is when you're hoping for an actual takeoff, because that's his staff, his guys, his team. And I saw some people complaining about Lincoln Riley again, and I'm like, yes, he's a year behind. Like, I'll agree with that. Lincoln Riley's a year behind at USC, but he admitted as much. He admitted that he made some mistakes and had to reverse course. I wouldn't panic. He's still on the right track, but he's also getting coaches poached now. We just took his defensive coordinator. So, but that's the big thing, is give Matt Campbell some time, let him make it his team. And I think we'll have a lot of success pretty quickly, all things considered. Now, Penn State, we rebounded from worse faster. Like, it would take us 3 years to rebound from 2011 and all that. And, I suspect, given the people running the show at Penn State, and given how much they're willing to throw behind the team and get behind it, it probably won't take us that long. But let it be what it is. Give it time.
Yeah, his resume, like I said, is impressive. Like, he was pulled from UCLA by USC because he did so good there, and then he made them better. And we really can't judge his performances at USC because, again, Lincoln Riley cares. He doesn't care about defense at all. He would probably just let no defense go out there and just, you guys score and then we'll go score. Like, he just doesn't care about defense.
He did it. He did that when he was at Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, and then Brent Venables goes to Oklahoma. He's a defensive coach.
360. Or I should say 180.
180. Yeah.
But and by the way, speaking of Dabo Swinney, who used to work for him as his defensive coordinator when he was really good.
Yep.
Brent Venables. Once you lose that guy, it's not easy. I mean, we saw it with Manny Diaz too. Like, you lose Manny Diaz and it becomes a lot harder to play defense.
Like, Brent Venables had his own get back guy. Like, he would literally, they had like the guy on like fishing wire. Like, he went too far, they'd reel him back in. Like, he's crazy. Yeah. He's crazy in a good way. Yeah. But again, Thomas, thanks for the gifts. Already have a much better player development staff. Elijah Robinson will be the icing on top of the cake. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be him. I think it's going to be Deontay, but Danton is a Joe guy. Yep, that's right, Lisa. Penn State needs big, nasty DTs again. Yeah, we always had them, man, going all the way back.
You have your slobber knockers up there.
Yeah, like Spice Adams back in the day. Like, we always had them. Yeah, you believe Penn State is capable of being as physical and as tenacious as what we've seen from? Absolutely. Yeah, that's Penn State, man. That's Penn State. Now, this team, nothing against Mario Cristobal, nothing against Jason Taylor, but this team is a bit of an anomaly. We haven't really seen this from Miami like this. Like, they beat A&M on the road, and then they beat Ohio State. Like, this is a very good team. That defensive line, they're the best. They're the best in college football. That's the best defensive line in college football. Ohio State's defensive line and defense were both pretty good. And the O-line for Ohio State, they were on ice skates all night.
They were getting cooked early. Yeah. That early game was rough to watch.
I mean, you don't see them give up sacks, really, man. Like, you just don't see it a lot. So, I think Penn State can do it. And, I hope Miami, what they did tonight, dude, Texas A&M, a good team. Ohio State, again, to me, unproven, but they're still pretty good. They were number one all year. So we'll see how they do against, it's either going to be Georgia or Ole Miss. And then if they make it all the way, man, like, if they run into like an Oregon or an Indiana in the national title, then we'll see. I mean, this is a good team. Like, that defensive line, they're one of the best, easily.
Yeah.
Like, they're freaks, man.
Yeah, Bain is very good. And I actually owe an apology to Josh Pate and Mario Cristobal, because Josh Pate was saying Miami just looked different earlier this year. I said, I'll believe it when I see it. And Mario Cristobal, I'll be honest with you, I thought he was a chump of a head coach for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
But he's got it. He just needed some time, I guess, and he figured it out. So
Aaron, if you're done with Danton Lynn, we'll talk about the U. We got Lord Farquaad, the quarterback for Ohio State, and they lost to Miami. They lost to a Shrek-colored team. So, again, like we were saying, the defensive line for Miami is insane. The defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Beck, first of all, he is a system management type of quarterback, but that's not to take anything away from him, man. Like, he drops them every game. He's fearless. He's a fearless kid.
Mm-hmm.
He ran the ball tonight, got absolutely crushed. So he's fearless, man. Like, he's fearless. He drops them every game, and he's like a system almost conservative type of guy, but he's also very aggressive. I don't really know where to put my thumb on him, but he's a solid quarterback. I mean, they have it all, and they have offensive weapons. And I don't think any of those guys are going to hit the portal. Like, I was watching the game with my dad tonight, and he said, I want number 4 on our team next year.
Fletcher, yeah.
I said, well, I don't think that's going to happen, but
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. Fletcher and Tony, both really promising young guys. I can't see them leaving the U. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Beck will be done this year. It'll be interesting to see who they get for quarterback. I bet they'll go back to the portal again. That seems to be kind of a trend for Cristobal. But the big thing, they should after a pretty good year like this, they should have some pretty good accessibility to quarterbacks in the portal. I don't think they'll struggle to find one. Their defense is, especially on the defensive line, very impressive. Bain is a NFL caliber guy. He is probably going to be a really good NFL football player. And I think the big thing for Miami, the part that surprised me the most, was the line of scrimmage. Because, in this sport, the first place you got to win is on the line of scrimmage. And they not only took on Ohio State, who has a wealth of 5-star talent all over their line of scrimmage. They took them on and they slobber knocked them. And that was pretty surprising. And part of, I don't know how much of it was this 0-5 teams on the bye week thing, and Ohio State got started slow, and that gave Miami the opportunity they needed, or how much of it is really just them winning, just straight up beating, just knocking the teeth out of Ohio State. But if they play like that, they got a shot. They have an outside shot. I still wouldn't favor them against most of the field, I'll be honest. But I would favor them against a lot more of it than I would have yesterday. So they're getting hot at the right time. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. It is.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Just hit. I don't know. I'm not a big dude. I could tell you some New Year's Eve stories, man. I'll tell you. But I was never really a big New Year's Eve guy, but definitely have had some good times. So between the defense and the offense, they pretty much have everything, man. And Mario Cristobal, again, they won on the road against A&M. That's a gutsy win. They win Ohio State. I mean, this team literally, again, like you just said, like, would you compare again to the rest of the field? I don't know. But after tonight, that was a convincing win. They won by 10. And I think Ohio State gave up, it was 27-17? That's the most points they've given up all year. And even Indiana, they only won 13-10. And again, like Julian saying, couldn't stay upright. They didn't pass the ball well enough. They have no run game. I said it for all season. I said they're going to get exposed. They're not that good. Like, in a respectful manner, they are not that good. So we'll see how it is going forward with Miami. But another thing too that we all have to keep in mind is like people have to stay healthy. Like, knock on wood, Dante Moore gets hurt, or 401k guy from Georgia. What's his name?
4-1. Oh, you mean Gunnar Stockton?
Yeah, Gunnar Stockton
Yeah.
gets hurt, or Carson Beck gets hurt, or whoever gets hurt, then it's like a totally different thing. You know what I mean? So just like last year, Notre Dame beat Georgia, but they didn't have their starting quarterback, Georgia. So
Right.
that didn't help their cause. And they played it later because of that bombing on New Year's Day last year.
Yeah.
So, that's another thing. People have to stay healthy, but I think this is a legit team, man. I do. Like, I think this is a very legit team that can run the table. I mean, I just want to see Indiana in the national title because, again, someone, August 29th got hit or something, went into a coma, and they just woke up and they're like, wait, Clemson and Penn State played in the Pinstripe Bowl. Terry Smith's the head coach. Penn State beat Clemson in the Pinstripe Bowl. Indiana is number one.
If you went into a coma in 2023 and woke up to this, you'd be like, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah. Franklin is at Virginia Tech, which we all saw. Like, dude, he was destined for that job. Like, he was always destined for that job. But
Probably.
you wake up and you're like, okay, Mendoza won the Heisman. You probably wouldn't even know who that is, first of all. And then Indiana is number one. Penn State is 6-6. They almost lost to Rutgers.
Yeah.
And then Matt Campbell is the head coach of Penn State. You'd be like, holy crap. Back to gym season officially upon us. Yeah. I was in there today, man. It was actually kind of busy, but I'm just like, it's crazy. People go back like New Year's. Like, New Year's is the time that they go back to the gym. It's like start in like October, get a head start. I don't know.
Right.
The whole New Year's thing, man.
Yeah, I'm not a resolutions guy. If you need to do something, just do it.
Mentally, like, that's a hard thing to just cold turkey start doing something.
I think that's probably why a lot of New Year's resolutions don't work out, because you're trying to cold turkey something instead of just working your way into it.
Yeah. All right. Aaron, the rest of the college football playoff bracket. So tomorrow we have 3 big games.
Yeah. Well, we got to hope the bye week trend doesn't continue, because if it does, Indiana might be in trouble.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, these bye week teams, they get no favors, man. They don't.
No, and I've said before, it's just the schedule, because it's not like during the season you get bye weeks. It doesn't have that big of an impact on most teams. But I think it's because you have all these bye weeks together, really, because you have the conference championship, then there's a week before the playoff starts, then the playoff starts, then there's another week before the next round starts, and now you haven't played in a month, right? Like, then it starts to matter. So it does. I'm really concerned we're going to have a situation where people are trying not to get bye weeks at some point if this keeps happening, which would not be good, because then you're going to have teams like trying to lose on purpose. But
yeah. Well, they say about like these bowl games, like Iowa State, they have 16 guys on their roster right now. Like,
yeah.
Unless they truly let in the best top 12, top 14, if they keep letting these cupcake teams in, man, it's just not going to end well, for anybody. Not as much money, the viewership will be down. Yeah, I mean, it's like, why go to these games if you know you're going to get smoked?
Right.
But
yeah, and I've always said, like, I know Josh Pate's take is that they should have a separate playoff, and I get that take. The problem I have with that is, if you put yourself in those teams' shoes, you would never want that, right? Like, you would want to take your shot at the big guys, and if you fail, you fail. But I think the problem has always been the same. It's that there's about 80 teams in the FBS that shouldn't be in FBS. Like, they just shouldn't be there, right? And if they weren't there, you would have your conferences divvied up better so that nobody gets an easy path. Like, there's no freebies where your strength of schedule is 126th, because there wouldn't be 126 teams or whatever. So
yep.
I think that's the real problem. But
yeah. But the thing is, if you're Tulane, for example, and you want to compete and you want to actually make the top 12, find a billionaire alum, have them donate a bunch of money, and then you can compete. Like that's college football today. If you're a Tulane, even at JMU, if you put a bunch of money into your roster and you beat the piss out of every team you play, and then you go and play like a legit team, like you would have an actual shot.
Right.
But until then, just let in the top 12. Like you have to change if you want to compete for a title. You have to change. You have to make your program better. Change a conference, put more money in your program. Whatever you need to do, you need to do. You know,
Yeah.
so
I also said there is a short way to fix it in the interim, which is just stop using the AP for your poll. Because the problem with the AP is they don't judge like strength of schedule. They don't care about any of that. They just go, well, you won 11 games, so I guess you're good, right? And so they don't look at like the fact that JMU hadn't played. I think they played one team that was in the top 50, and it was Louisville, and they lost, right? And so if I'm looking at that, I'd be like, well, I can't get you in the top 25. You haven't played anybody. And unfortunately, like the AP doesn't work that way because it's just a bunch of Associated Press members and half of them don't even care. And so they need to stop using, like the CFP ranking needs to stop using the AP as a base. They need to, like, I don't care if they need to bring back the BCS computer to get their first ranking done or whatever, but have something that requires strength of schedule to matter, right? And that alone probably would have prevented this.
Well, you know, they love those zeros on the right side of the record column.
Yeah.
But, you know, here's the thing, like the bigger the name you have in college football, you can pretty much get away with the 0 through 2 on the right side of the record column.
Yeah.
But the lower you go, pretty much no matter who you are, in a way, if you have a 0 in that loss column, you're going to be ranked most likely.
They're going to give you something, right?
Yeah, and if you're in Alabama and you have 1, 2, even 3, you're still going to be ranked because of your Alabama. So
yeah. But in Alabama's case, you can kind of go, well, you looked at their schedule and it's like, yeah, they played 5 ranked teams in a row, so that kind of makes sense in their case.
Exactly.
But like,
yes,
if I got a James Madison who played 12 teams and they lost 1 game, but the only game in the top 50 was the one they lost, I should be able to kind of map that in my head and be like, I don't think they were competitive with Alabama. Okay, just reality.
Yeah, yeah.
And that kind of bugs me about it is like, I don't think it's that difficult. And again, the BCS computer would get it right based on its rules that it used to have. So I just think I think that's probably the easy fix for now that you could do to keep this from happening again. But I feel bad. I hate to tell a team like you don't belong no matter how much you win. But like, I hate to say this, but Tulane, you need to get more Ole Miss games on your schedule or something like that. You need to get more of those, and then you need to win some of them. Because if you win some of them, I'll believe you. Like if you win those games, okay, you're doing the same thing the big boys are. So that means you should be able to compete with them. And that's kind of the big thing is like the problem too is we have 136 teams. How do you get one of the big boys on your schedule? Everybody's schedules get soaked up because there's just tons of, I hate to say it, but tons of cannon fodder every year, right?
Yeah.
How do you get somebody good on your schedule? It's a battle. So
yeah, keep chopping. Like if you had like these Ivy League schools, man, and they were actually like decent at football, I mean, you got a bunch of freaking like wizards, you know, what do you call them? Got a bunch of freaking geniuses at your school. Yeah, that helps. Like, that definitely helps your cause if you know, if you got a bunch of smart people at your school, you know, just get a bunch of engineers out there, put some muscle on them.
Yeah.
Like they could like play out the physics of every single play. But yeah, man, like for sure. And to your point, A&M should have been number 1 all year. They had the number 1 schedule. And if you think about it, Indiana, they played Oregon, so they already have a leg up on Ohio State. So they won by 10 at Oregon this year, and then they beat Ohio State by 3 in the Big Ten. They're conference champions. So right there, to me, makes them a competitor. Now, If Oregon beats Texas Tech, which realistically probably would happen because it's Oregon, and I don't know if the Texas Tech coach partakes in many extracurricular activities, as does Dan Lanning, but he does have that advantage. So if Oregon beats Texas Tech and that Indiana Bama game, that's insane. Like, that is an insane game. So Heisman Trophy winner against Alabama, I would never count Alabama out, never. But so if Oregon beats Texas Tech and then Indiana beats Alabama, you got Indiana, Oregon. So they've already beaten them, but they haven't beaten Texas Tech, and they haven't beaten Alabama yet. So Indiana, to me, between Ohio State and Indiana, Ohio State played two good teams, they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana played two good teams, they won. So if you take an Indiana, like I said, they beat Oregon, they beat Ohio State. They could beat a Big 12 team, and then they could beat – first of all, they could beat the Big 10, SEC, Big 12, and the ACC.
All in 1 year.
They could beat them all in one playoff. And so if that happens, man, that is insane. With the history of Indiana. Yeah. So their resume right now is already impressive to me. Yeah. But again, they haven't played anybody outside of the Big Ten, Indiana. So let's see them play an SEC team. Let's see them play maybe Big 12 or ACC. We'll see. But we do know that the ACC, like Virginia Tech Fanatics said, the ACC just beat beat the number one Big Ten team all year. The ACC just beat them.
Yep.
So we know one thing. We know a couple things here. Franklin's never going to beat Miami. And two, Miami is real, and they're definitely representing their conference well. So we'll see. Yeah, like we'll see how it plays. Obviously, we'll see how it plays out, but it's going to be interesting, man. Like Indiana literally could beat every conference on their way to a national title, which, again, like it's just going to be fun to watch. And then, with Miami winning tonight, it makes things interesting. But to your point, Aaron, like A&M should have been number one because they had the number one schedule. So, my point earlier was Indiana has a pretty impressive schedule, but A&M played in the SEC all year. They beat good teams. They were undefeated going into Texas. So, by that measurement, A&M should have been number one. So
I think, and it's a mixed bag because I think if I remember right, and I always thought the BCS Computer's take was actually pretty fair. The biggest problem the BCS Computer had is that it included the seven, you call them extra polls, right? And those 7 extra polls were sometimes just completely off their rocker. Like they weren't even close. And it always messed with the BCS Computer polls. But the actual math of the BCS Computer used was pretty appropriate. If they'd have just fixed those polls, it probably would have been all but perfect. But the BCS Computer would have, if you're curious, it would have had Indiana 1. But it would have had Indiana 1 because Texas A&M had a loss, which it would have counted against them. Yeah. And so overall, the BCS Computer would have favored Indiana. But it would have been basically Indiana, then Texas A&M. Sorry, not Texas Tech. And I forget what the other ones were. I think it would have actually liked Alabama and Georgia a lot based on what they had. I think Georgia would have been 3 and Alabama 4, according to it. So, or Ohio State might have been 4 and then Bama 5. I forget. But I looked at it a little while ago just because I was curious about what the old BCS Computer would have thought. But what was interesting was, guess what the old BCS Computer did not have? It did not rank James Madison or Tulane.
No.
It would have had.
It would have been impossible.
Yes, it would have had James Madison at 40, and it would have had Tulane at 32. So.
Yeah, so that's another thing. The BCS generally, man, generally got it right. But, the thing is, the thing about the BCS, and rightfully so, but like Penn State losing to Iowa in 2008, they were done. You know what I mean? Even though they were a good team. And then USC losing to Oregon State in 2008. To me, that was the best team in the country that year. We ran into probably the best team that year, but they lost to Oregon State, who we beat. Yeah. So it ends up being Florida and Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's undefeated. Florida has like 1 or 2 losses.
Florida had one, I think, yeah.
But I think if USC plays Oklahoma, Florida, or us, I think they could beat all of them. But I think, and most people would disagree with me on this, but if Penn State would have played Oklahoma or Florida that year, I think they would have had a better game than what they did against USC.
Yeah.
Because that was the year that no, that wasn't the year Tim Tebow made his speech. That was the year after. But I do think that if Penn State played, maybe not Florida, but Oklahoma, I think they would have had a shot. Yeah. But if USC played any of them, I think they would have beat the brakes off of just about anybody. They were so good.
They were pretty darn good that year. Yeah.
And you remember how good that 2008 team, man, was. That was one of the best teams Penn State's ever had.
Yeah, they were
absolutely stacked.
Yeah.
Multiple NFL players on those teams in that game. Yeah. So, but again, Oregon, Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech is legit. Brett said about Texas Tech, they need to play someone outside the Big 12. That's true. We'll see.
That's true.
I think they're legit, but Brett's point definitely stands. Like,
he's right.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Alabama, Indiana, probably the best game of the day. Can Indiana beat an SEC team? Can they beat no matter who? Doesn't matter when, man. Alabama is Alabama.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, again, lost their head coach. Can they beat Georgia? That would be interesting if they actually beat Georgia, because the way they looked against Tulane, this could be interesting. Maybe they'll try to stick at the lane and they'll win it out. But if Ole Miss beats Georgia, man, that is a team, again, that I think could go all the way.
They got the guys. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. So all these games are interesting. They really are.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting day. Are you off tomorrow?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Brett has to work.
Oh wow, dang, that stinks.
Half day, but dude, he gets like no breaks. But he has 1 day off of the week. It's Saturday.
Oh man.
But yeah. Been there though. I mean, we've all worked jobs where we kind of, you work crappy hours, holidays and stuff, but man, he works like every day. It doesn't matter if it's not having, and I don't think he gets holiday pay either. It's crazy.
Ooh, brutal.
Yeah. Dude. So I'll be happy when he can change. He likes the job, but
yeah, I was going to say, as long as you like it, I always say like, I like my job. So it kind of never feels like
exactly.
I'm working.
Yeah.
But
yeah, where I work, it's like just a lot of great people. I mean, that makes it way better.
Makes big.
Yeah. The environment is like, the environment is the nicest people I've worked with, and that just makes it dude, you're everyone there. One thing that's true about that place is everyone there is like just healthy. They all look younger than they actually do. Like everybody there looks younger than they actually are.
Huh.
And some of them are older. So it's like, and they've all been there a long time.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, that's stress will age you. And when you work in a good environment, that just makes your health way, way better.
It does.
So, but all right, Aaron, thanks for coming on, man. You have anything else to say?
No, I guess before I go, I'll make my picks for tomorrow, though.
Yeah, sure.
Let's say
I didn't even ask you.
Oh, you're good. I'm curious about yours too. Let's. Man, do you think the bye week jinx continues? Will we ever see a bye week team win?
Yeah, that's.
It makes me want to pick against all the bye week teams just because of it. I'm going to stick with what I said before, that I think Texas Tech finds a way against Oregon. I really do. But I do think Alabama also finds a way, unfortunately. Kalen DeBoer is good at that. Miss Georgia. The more the bye week comes in, the more I want to call Mississippi in that one. But also going with your interim coach against Kirby. Oh my God, dude, that's so hard. If they win it, kudos to them. I gotta take Georgia.
Bro, Kirby's off his rocker, man.
That guy's crazy, man. He's so good at his job.
He's a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great coach, man.
Yeah, he is, and he's working with probably one of the worst Georgia teams he's had, honestly, in terms of talent.
But and they're always there.
Yeah,
no, they're always there. The only reason they lost to Notre Dame really is because the back went down. That's it.
Yeah. They're always so well coached. You're never going to get a free pass with them. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, but yeah, I'll take Texas Tech, Alabama, and Georgia. But I hope Indiana finds a way to win. I do. I hope I end up being wrong about that. What about you?
Man, the toughest game for me is Ole Miss or Georgia because of what they did to Tulane. Tulane is not a bad team. Like,
no, they're not a bad football team. No.
So, and they beat the piss out of them. So, but I think it's going to be Georgia, Indiana, and Oregon.
Yeah.
For right now, depending on how they look, I think it's going to end up being Indiana, Oregon. Indiana wins, and I think it's going to be Georgia, Indiana, man, and Georgia wins Indiana wins it all. That's what I think. But
I could totally see that happening. My nightmare scenario is that Georgia and Alabama somehow make it.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen. I would love – it's a darn shame that Indiana and Texas Tech are in the same bracket because I would love Indiana, Texas Tech at the end. That would just be so great because it would just throw everybody around.
Yeah, it would. But here's the thing, man. Like, I don't know exactly how they rank these guys, but they're probably making sure that didn't happen or I don't know. But Texas Tech – again, I think they're legit. So let's say, hypothetically, Texas Tech beats Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Can they beat Indiana or Alabama? I don't know. But Texas Tech, man, I like seeing Texas Tech be legit. I like seeing that.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed the Red Raiders. They're fun.
Wasn't it who was it? Hold on.
Oh, good night, Joe. Happy New Year to you.
Good night, Joe. It was it was Michael Crabtree and who was the freaking quarterback? Graham Harrell, number 6.
Yeah.
So Graham Harrell, that's the last time really they were legit because they beat number 1 Texas. That was 2008. And I think that was the same weekend that I think that was the same weekend that Penn State beat Ohio State or something like that. But we were still legit at that time.
Yeah.
But it was last play. They beat Texas number 1. And that was the last time I think really that they were like that legit.
Yeah, I mean they had Patty, but when they had Patty, they had no defense, and they never had like a super great year with Patrick Mahomes. They had some good years, but not great ones.
See Indiana Ole Miss some point way. Yeah, that's possible.
You could definitely see that. I think if Indiana played Texas Tech, like you could see that, but I think Texas Tech's defense is just too good, and Indiana, quite frankly, they vice grip teams too. So that could actually be the opposite. Like you could end up in a sluggo match there. Oregon and Indiana could turn into a boat race, but yeah, it'd be interesting. Oregon is a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, can't forget Oregon's a bunch of weirdos. Dan Lanning is 100% on the snow.
I was going to say Dan should come back. It's about to get snowy here. He'd have a great time.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna see Dan this offseason just running around State College.
That would be quite a sight.
Well, I didn't even see this. Oregon is -2.5.
Yeah.
Indiana is -7.5.
I know. It's actually gone up because it was -7, which that surprised the heck out of me, honestly. That really surprised me.
And Georgia's -6.5. And then remember, Miami was +9.5, bro. Remember that?
Yeah, Miami was almost plus plus 10, which,
Yeah, I was like, what?
and thinking about it now, at the time I was like, I get it. But then putting in the bye week stuff and knowing what happened
Well,
last year, I probably wouldn't. I should have thought about that more because I was like, oh yeah. In hindsight, that probably wasn't pretty easy to tag plus 10.
dude, like I'm so happy to see Ohio State lose because this offseason, man, like they're first of all, a lot of the fans, especially the ones that comment on our stuff, like IQs, like just lower than gas. Like they're so low, like negative IQs. And a lot of them,
good ones.
and a lot of them, like they're talking crap. And then you look at their profile and it's like, bro, you're so brave talking crap because the way you look, like there was this one guy, he was talking so much crap and he looked like a Star Wars character. I mean, couldn't have been goofier looking. And I really try. I don't ever like say anything about their appearance or anything like that unless they really deserve it. And he deserved it, but I still didn't. And he kept like talking crap, and I blocked him. I'm like, dude, trust me, if I let loose on you, you'd be in a psych ward probably.
It's Snow Bunny sure. Yeah, well, fair. Yeah, the one that I was going to add to your pile is you can't tell me Carson Beck doesn't look like he just came out of a hot box every time he's on the field. Like he was just
a hot box
when we got out there.
He looks like he's like always high.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He looks like he was hot boxing in the car on the way over to the game. Yeah, is he Sid? Maybe I could kind of see it.
Bro, that's the meme. It's always him. Yeah. They put like eye black under his eyes here.
Eye black, yeah, because he's always got bag. Yeah.
But yeah, he does. He always looks like he just come out of a hot box. And then Jillian Sane looks like Lord Farquaad. Who else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like last night they showed that one clip. I shared it with you, Aaron. Ole Miss and Georgia were both like on the street, like talking crap back and forth. I said, well, at least Georgia's not driving. So keeping people safe. But yeah, man, like literally the longest yard, that is their team.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. I always thought that was like maybe the one thing you could gig Kirby for was just that they maybe didn't have the greatest control over the players sometimes. But I don't know, I will say if you've ever lived around Georgia, the car scene is a big deal there around Atlanta. And all those like videos you see of people doing stupid crap in the middle of intersections, most of those come from Atlanta. So I see what happens. Those kids get there and then somebody gets them into that scene. And next thing you know, they get something stupid happens. Right.
The thing is, that's true. And then I think the one podcast I was listening to is Coach JB. He was on there with like Steve Kim and a couple other guys. And they're like, listen, like Kirby Smart can only do so much, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, man. Like, it's like, I don't know. Like you recruit guys, they're good at football. And I don't think he's just taking anybody. You know what I mean? I don't think any coach nowadays, I don't know. I just don't think they really take just anybody just because they're good.
I don't think so either. I think most coaches know that talent alone doesn't make a good football player. Like you have to have the mentals. You have to have like Jordan Davis is a great example. Jordan Davis is a Georgia guy, and dude's amazing in Philadelphia. If you've ever met, I had the privilege of just meeting him in passing once. He's the jolliest dude you were ever going to meet. Like that dude is a walking Santa Claus. He is such a good dude. People adore him.
Dude. Yeah. Massive.
Yeah, he's huge, dude. he's really big.
We had Jordan Davis, Jaden Carter. I was hoping you guys would have gotten Quinnen Williams.
Yeah. We couldn't justify that. We can't spend money we don't have, unfortunately. But I don't know if you ever saw, but Jordan Davis has an amazing singing voice too. That dude
Does he
is
really?
stupidly. That dude has too much talent. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy. He's huge, man. Like he's a huge guy.
He is. He's massive. But guys like that, if guys like that are playing for Kirby, I think Kirby does select them well. But these are young men. You got to remember, these are guys. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do silly things. We all did it. We all did stupid stuff. Just some of us didn't get caught doing it.
Yeah.
And so we got lucky enough to live through it and not have something terrible happen.
Well, you think about back when we were in college and stuff, man. Like, holy crap, we did all kinds of stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get away with
it. Jordan Davis, who he reminds me of is Deron Payne. Remember Deron Payne?
Deron Payne is an excellent football player.
So he was first round pick, 13th overall pick in 2018. And I remember just how big he was, man. He was at the podium after they won the national title.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, that guy is so big.
Yeah, he's a monster. Yeah.
So hype men, Ray Lewis and dude.
By the way, they need to it's fine. Okay, fine. Have Michael Irvin on the sideline. Do not let him have scissors, please. Okay.
No.
He's a danger to
scissors. Him, Dan Lanning, and Sharon Moore have been spending way too much time together. So
that is oh my God, dude. If somebody invited me to a party and said, "Oh, those three are there," I'd be like, where's it at? I need to know how to stay as far away as possible.
Yeah, I'm going to call the police and drive 100 miles.
Yeah, just preemptively. Just send the cops to the house.
Nothing happened yet, but something will happen. So just go sit outside.
Yeah.
You're bound to see some stuff.
Yeah, Ray Lewis too. Ray Lewis was I think he got in some trouble for something years ago too. What did he get in trouble for? I forget.
Bro, all right. That's an interesting story because when the Steelers played the Ravens back in like 2010s, man, their defense looked like a prison lineup. You had Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, Haloti Ngata. Like those guys look like they would just eat your children. I mean, they were just it's crazy. Yeah. So it was after this Titans lost the Super Bowl when what's his name reached a ball out.
Oh yeah.
They were out at a club and there was a big scuffle. Someone got stabbed and killed.
Yeah.
Somehow Ray Lewis got involved in it and they never found his suit. And he was on trial for murder.
Yeah, I remember.
He got acquitted or whatever. I don't know exactly what happened, but a lot of people think that he did. Like a lot of people think he did it.
That he was involved. That he was directly involved. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember that because that was Kevin Dyson. That's the guy who tried to reach the ball out and didn't get there. Yeah.
That was I remember that, man. I was a kid, but I remember that. I do remember that, like reaching out.
That was a great Super Bowl.
It was, and that was the greatest show on turf, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the Rams' greatest show on turf. Yep.
Right, and that was Courtney Brown's rookie year. Yep. But I think no, that wasn't. Right. He got drafted number 1 later on. But he was 2000. LeVar went 2, Courtney went 1 in the 2000 draft.
Right. That's right.
And LeVar always says, they're like, oh, you went 2 in the Tom Brady draft. They're like, no, Tom Brady went in my draft.
Exactly. That's how I would look at it.
But, he's a real big, prayer guy, Jesus guy, Ray Lewis. And it's like, that's awesome, man. But if you killed someone, like,
I hope you made peace with God about it.
Yeah. But I've watched several breakdowns of that, like the one channel on YouTube, it's What Really Happened, and on that channel it's a very good channel, and he said that, like, I don't think he did it.
Okay.
He may have seen it or something, but he didn't do it, know what I mean? But his white suit went missing. It was never found. I don't think the murder weapon was ever found, so there was some
shadiness there.
he was with the wrong crowd.
So
well,
Well,
But
hopefully he's with the right crowd now. Again, just keep scissors off that sideline. Right.
bro, like, during the game, like when they got excuse me when they got that last pick, Michael Irvin's over there like hugging the guy, hitting him, and I'm like, bro, if I'm Mario Cristobal, I'd be like, yo, just don't hurt our
Yeah,
guys.
please
You freaking
chill.
lunatic.
Please chill, brother. Yeah, that was always my thing too. You remember like USC used to always have guys on the sideline too.
Yeah.
Like they used to do that back when they were cheating and got in trouble. But yeah, I just remember that. Like I never thought that was a great look. Like I
Yeah,
don't
Will
necessarily
Ferrell.
mind them being there, but like, dude, stay away. Let the team play the
Yeah,
football game,
like
man.
Will Ferrell would be there, like in a weird hat, like on a flip phone, talking.
Yeah,
Like, bro, you look like such a nerd.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they had celebrities there all the time. But one last thing, the greatest dynasty to this day, in my opinion, in terms of what they were doing at the time, was Miami when Michael Irvin was on that team. Perriman,
In the '80s.
And Penn State played them in the national title. Vinny Testaverde won the Heisman. Still to this day, probably the best college quarterback ever. I mean, he was so decorated. He won every award.
Yeah.
Penn State didn't have a shot in that game. That was the greatest dynasty ever at the time. Still to this day, one of the best dynasties ever. Penn State shut them down. 14-10. They picked off Vinny Testaverde 5 times. Jerry Sandusky wrote up an insane game plan for that. And that, to me, that's the greatest title game, the greatest title ever because of who they beat.
The biggest upset in the sport, I think.
Fatigues versus us. It was like, you talk about Catholics versus convicts, bro. Mm-hmm. What were we then? Like, we were Catholic,
Protestants versus convicts.
Yeah, Catholics versus the Italians or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the Italians are good.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you want to talk about a great win and the taking down of a dynasty.
Yeah, that was still, I think that I still think that's the biggest upset in national title history. But and that's a game I still watch that game like once a year. I'll pull that game up and watch it start to finish just because it was such a master class in defense and clock management. And Penn State just used every possible tool. It was a three-dimensional game plan. It was really good.
Yeah, DJ Dozier ran one in.
Yeah.
I have his book here. Yeah, his book. I have his book, but
nice.
Yeah, man, that was my dad's senior year, and I remember 2017 we were watching Iowa Penn State, and that was when Trace threw it in at the end to Juwan Johnson, his only career touchdown of his career. Yeah. Threw it in, and my dad, he was like, imagine watching the national championship as a senior in college. He's like, you think this game is nerve-wracking? Imagine that. So I was like, oh, yeah. So comparison. But all right, guys, have a good night. Thank you, God. Ohio State lost. We can all be happy. Gus joined us again. Thank you, Gus. You're now a Miami fan, I guess. And Julian saying looks just like Lord Farquaad. Yeah. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Chris Gorky's coming on tomorrow for another episode to talk about his thoughts on the staff. There's a lot of stuff going on right now with the staff and players, so he's going to come on and talk about that. Be good to have him on again. Say your prayers for him. He's got some family stuff going on, but he'll be on tomorrow for New Year's. And then, yeah, we'll have, we'll just keep it rolling here. Aaron will be back on again at some point. So, Aaron, thanks for joining me, man, again. And you guys have a good night.
Yes, thank you. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. See you tomorrow.